Director just days before 9/11, and then served his 10 years under George Bush and on to time with President Obama. He is a former Marine. He knows Rod Rosenstein because it's a very small club, probably knows him because they're both United States attorneys. Rosenstein, a U.S. attorney before he became Deputy Director of the Justice Department. He was a U.S. attorney himself. NBC's Pete Williams has more.
Here with a major development of the investigation into Russian influence as it may pertain to the Trump White House and the Trump campaign. We want to go right now to Pete Williams with word of the appointment of a special counsel to lead an investigation. Pete?
Lester, after serving as the Deputy Attorney General for 22 days, the Deputy Rod Rosenstein today took himself out of overseeing the Russia investigation, turning that over to Robert Mueller. He is the former FBI director who served 12 years in that job. He was actually held over 2 extra years before James Comey became the FBI director. He will have the full authority to investigate that any U.S. attorney would, including the power to file criminal charges. This is exactly what congressional Democrats have been pushing for the appointment of a special counsel ever since Rosenstein was confirmed, and partly because the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, has taken himself out of making any decisions about the investigation. So to be clear, Mr. Mueller's purview will be the entire Russia issue, the whole question of whether any associates of the Trump campaign were in any way involved in helping the Russians try to influence the election last year, and any subsequent things that flow from that. Now, it's important to note, Lester, that as the special prosecutor, he's not completely independent like we used to have in the old days. Special prosecutors are still subject to the control of the Justice Department, but it's much more independent, it's much more separated from the political appointees than it would have been if Rod Rosenstein, a Trump appointee, had continued to be the ultimate decision maker about this investigation, Lester.
And what about the work that's been done so far by the FBI? Does that continue on? Do they start from square one?
They don't start from square one. The normal rule for special counsel is that they use the staffers provided by the Justice Department, typically career prosecutors. But he does have the authority under the rules to bring in his own people. But, Lester, let's be clear. The immediate effect of this is going to be to delay any ultimate decisions about where the investigation goes, because when Mr. Mueller comes onto the job, he'll have to spend a good deal of time getting up to speed on it. But he certainly is no stranger to the FBI, having been the longest-serving FBI director in history, second only, of course, to J. Edgar Hoover.
All right, pressure on this has been building certainly since the president fired James Comey, the man who was leading the investigation into Russia and possible links to the Trump campaign. We want to go right now to Peter Alexander at the White House.
And we're going to head off to Florida Congressman. We're heading off to Florida Congressman Carlos Curbelo. Congressman, the news tonight that there is a new special counsel, former FBI Director Robert Mueller. Your response, sir?